YouTube, what is good? Yo, it's another day, another vlog starting outside Chrome Yellow Coffee Shop, the best coffee shop in Atlanta. Today we're making some street photography, but I want to try something just a little bit different today. So we've talked about this before. You guys know how I am with street photography. Some people with their street photos like to get up close, get in people's personal space. That's not necessarily me. I like to look for large scenes and have moments, events, and people happening inside of those scenes. And I've talked about it before. Street photography is one of my favorite genres of photography and probably the one I struggle with most. That's why I like making these videos. So today we're gonna switch it up a little bit. Instead of shooting with the traditional 35mm for street photography, we're gonna use an ultra wide angle lens, which I'll show you the exact lens once we get out there. So the plan for today, we're gonna take this ultra wide lens to 5 Point Station in Atlanta, find some great scenes, hopefully some interesting people inside of those scenes. It's kind of weird. We're technically not gonna be on the street today, but we're still capturing what street photography is, which is moments and things happening. It's kind of weird, but yeah, street photography, but we're gonna be underground. We made it downtown. It is another heater of a day out here in Atlanta. So before we get going, one, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more photography videos. Two, here's how these videos work. When I go out to make these behind the scenes, I like to wear a GoPro on my head, give you that real first person, that real behind the scenes look. And then while we're out shooting, I'll do a voiceover, kind of explain what I like, what I dislike, everything going on with the photos. Let's stop wasting time with this introduction. Here we go. Let's jump into GoPro mode. Let's get it. What up, what up? It is a voiceover. So we're walking in the train station right now. You can see the crazy lighting, all the symmetry, all the architecture inside this place. Super fun place to shoot. So right here, I'm just getting a quick warm-up shot in. I say this all the time. Photography is like sports. Kind of got to warm up a little bit before you get going. So right there, I turned off the AF assist. That's that little light on the camera. You do not want that in street photography. So this first shot right here, this is just kind of a warm-up. I'm taking a photo of the people on the train through the window. This shot's just whatever. Maybe 20 years down the line, it will say something, it will have some type of meaning, but for now, it's not the best. It could have been shot at 35mm to kind of tighten everything up. The sign could have said something other than Doorville. Doorville is not even interesting to people in Atlanta, so it's definitely not going to be interesting to anyone outside of the city. And three, there's not enough interest going on inside the window. There needs to be some type of activity to really make this photo. So it's nothing special, just a warm-up. So now I'm moving around the station, trying to find another composition, something else that's interesting, some interesting subjects. And right here, you're gonna see how crazy the lighting and the symmetry of this station is. There's so much you can potentially shoot. Right here, this is the main atrium of the station. I don't know who designed this, but it's pretty futuristic and crazy looking. Notice how right in the middle there's that light coming through. What I want to do is wait for someone to enter that frame, that lighting. And I ended up getting it. I had to sit here for about 10 minutes off camera waiting, and I finally had the perfect person walk into frame. So for the sake of editing, I kept every photo black and white today, but this is a photo that I want to work on in color, spend a lot more time on, because the woman in the middle of the frame, she's wearing a very brightly colored dress. She really stands out. I'm super happy with how it came out, and most definitely will be spending a lot more time on the edit of this one and probably sharing it on Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff. So right here, trying to get a photo of the moving train at a lower shutter speed. I think I was shooting at 1/20th of a second, and that woman right there, police officer, just told me no photos, which I'm not going to listen to. I just moved to a different part of the train station, and right here, bang, notice this composition very quick. Get the shot off. Loving this photo. I think this is really cool. There's so many lines, so much going on with this particular image. Obviously, we have our subject, who is this silhouetted figure going down the escalator. One great thing about this photo, we have one lead line in that wall on the right side leading us towards our subject, and then our subject is framed off by the wall, and then your eye kind of circles back around the photo. You notice the lights, you notice the framing of the beams and everything. Just really like this one. It's a very geometric, interesting looking composition. So one thing I was struggling with today was finding a photo against one of these train platforms. I really like the lights. I obviously like the train going through the photo to set the scene, but I couldn't find a good composition until right now. We have this woman just chilling, waiting for the train. So with this photo, I waited here for about 10 minutes, and I got lucky because even more interesting people walked into the frame before I took the image. So we obviously have the train on the left side. We have these 4 people waiting on the train, and then this couple walking into the photo. Now, what I would change on this image to make it even better is, one, I would get rid of that couple. They're unnecessary to the photo, they're unnecessary to the story. But these 4 people we have lined up against the wall, what I like is they're all kind of telling a different story. We have obviously the woman on the left looking away from the other people. We have this man in the middle. He has a sign in his hand that says something about something religious, some type of religious message. Then we have this other guy, he's wearing an Atlanta hat. And then we have this man on the right carrying what looks like his daughter or a baby. And I don't know, it just is interesting because we now have 4 individuals in the photo, all of them kind of telling a different story. And then we obviously have the train creating some motion. We have this interesting lighting up top. This is another one of those photos that I would spend a lot more time on. And this is another photo that I feel like 20 years down the line, when the city's changed, people have changed, trends have changed, this train station has changed, this photo could really tell a story of what it was like inside that station. Now we are on the hunt for one last photo, just walking around looking for another interesting composition, and I come across this stair set that's leading back up towards that main atrium, and the amount of symmetry is so crazy at this spot. I stand here and wait for probably 10 minutes for a subject or someone to enter the frame. We do get that guy right there, but the ideal situation never happened. I ended up making this photo, which I'm pretty happy with. I think it looks cool. The symmetry is obviously really nice. We have this man walking right in the middle of the photo. He fits nicely into that corridor, so he's kind of highlighted. But what I wish had happened was I wish someone had come down the steps and created a shadow against that wall. So we'd have some motion, some action of someone coming down the steps, the sun coming from the top, casting a shadow onto that wall. Unfortunately, I didn't really have the time to wait for that subject to enter the photo. Earlier in the day, I did see this guy walking around the station, and he would have been the perfect type of person to enter into that frame. Maybe somebody in a suit, somebody just looking interesting, somebody shady, maybe they have a hat on covering their face. I don't know, something like that would have really enhanced the potential story of that last image. So on that last shot, it would have been great if the right subject entered into that scene. We had, which unfortunately we did not get, but I'm still very happy with the photo. Every photo we made today, I'm actually very happy with, and we had some good results. All right, photo mission is complete. Yo, I think that went really well. I know I at least got one photo that I'm really happy with, which is always the goal. I just wish they would leave me alone when I'm in there. I'm not planning on selling the photos. I don't need police and MARTA security and all these people telling me not to take photos. It's already hard enough making street photos. It's even harder when you're worried about getting kicked out of a place. But I know I complain about this too much. It is what it is. I just have to accept the reality that they do not want me making photos down there, but that is never actually gonna stop your boy. I love making photos, especially in that 5 Points train station, because it's so futuristic, it's so cool. The architecture element comes really naturally to me. It's just combining that architecture element with the street photography, like people and moments element, that I find so interesting and so fun and so challenging. That's what I'm always trying to combine, my eye for architecture and symmetry and things like that, plus street photography elements, and we had a few examples of that today. Check out that car right there, that's sick. Yo, so it is now the next day. Went through all the photos last night, and I gotta say, I was happy with them when we left shooting yesterday, but I am even more happy with them now. Some really cool stuff, and definitely a cool concept that I want to expand on in the future. Using the ultra wide and combining that with street photography, it worked well, especially for my style. So some of those photos I'm definitely gonna edit and eventually throw on the Instagram. But I wanted to film this outro last night, but yo, the new dog situation at the house is just, it's out of control. I extremely underestimated how psychotic puppies are. But my man is really cute, so kind of makes up for it. Yo, one other thing too, in the last episode, I know we photographed the Yeezys, we did some sneaker photography with a little bit of food mixed in. The negative reaction was a little bit higher than normal. We got so much positive feedback, like in the sneaker world, so I understand some of you might not have gotten it, and that's why today's episode was street photography. I know that's more of what you want, so that's what you're gonna get. But with that, that is it for today's episode. The busier I get with this YouTube channel and my other work, the less time I have to go shoot. I find myself on days like yesterday where I really only have 2, maybe 3 hours to get out and shoot, and I want to really start focusing on doing that more and not using it as an excuse. You know, it's really easy to say, I only have 2, only have 3 hours, I'm gonna stay home, work on something else. Trying to really focus in on those days and make the most out of them and bring you guys along. So thank you for coming out to shoot with me today. Always appreciate it. Y'all are the truth. Hit that thumbs up button for me, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time.